Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about Tropical Depression Zeta here, and another day of possible reformation. And as we can see here, if we look at the watches and warnings, we have a pretty big area of tropical storm watches here in Cuba, and tropical storm warnings, like I said yesterday, has been upgraded. Tropical storm warning here for the Cayman Islands, I believe? No, sorry. I actually forgot, but if they are the Cayman Islands, comment down below. But hopefully you guys subscribe to my friend Max, good friend of mine. Hope you guys did subscribe to him, and if you didn't, go back to my last video and go ahead and subscribe to him. But now Florida is getting more of a chance now. It's curved more to the east here. Now Zeta right here. Let me show you the satellite imagery here. Let's go to here. So if we can see, it's been blowing up some pretty good convection here. Let's go ahead and circle it. Oops, sorry. Wait for it to load. So it had a big convective burst earlier, which made it look pretty good, but it isn't blowing up any convection, only right here on the eastern side of the center and some on the southern side. The center is right here. Shear is a problem, but let's get a wider view here. And yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. So think it is Atlantic wide. Yeah, so it is getting better outflow, but it's a big sloppy mess of energy here. Big sloppy mess. But we do have this outflow here, and as you can see, it's being sheared here. There's a good amount of shear. If you can look at these clouds here, a lot of shear, rain up here, snowstorm actually up there, and the storm itself, pretty large area at this point. That's why the tropical storm watch area is such a big area. Let's go ahead and look at that Atlantic vorticity, and you can see here it's looking a little bit better with the round and how much energy there really is. Yesterday the low level center, it was destroyed, and I think it still is. I think it's still trying to get that, but let's go to the wind shear here. And as we can see, I think the shear has lessened a little bit. Oh, extensions. But definitely shear there. The only good place where it was right here, virtually no shear, but it is heading into that sheared environment, getting up to 70 and 80 miles an hour of shear, and unfavorable. So it's going to be unfavorable amount of shear. Unfavorable amount. Let's go ahead and look at the dry air here, and as we can see, get that dry air, water vapor, but they're the same thing. They sense the dry air, and yeah. But as we can see here, why don't I clear this stuff? Sad. But we can see dry air into the Gulf. Gulf isn't really favorable right now in this time. That could, of course, change, but as of right now, it's not forecasted to be favorable. But we can see not that dry air for this area, gets drier down here, but really not that dry. And really the place where the storm is right now, it's expected to become tropical storm. No hurricane status expected, or status, whatever you'd like to call it. But southern tip of Florida, still in this cone here, and we can see it has a good amount of water vapor with it, but it's going to be heading into worse and worse environment. Now, we can go ahead and look at the intensity. Is this right? I think so. Let's see. Current storms, intensity. Ooh, has no longer hurricane intensity expected. Yesterday, sometimes it had it going up to Category 2 status. The Cody model as my thumbnail, but really old tropical storm here. Highest is about 55 knots there, which HWRF takes it to almost the highest at a little bit below 55 knots. So let's go ahead and check out that model. And as we can see, has right now 1001 millibars. Has it getting to not that strong here. It gets a pretty strong landfall, but you can see that dry air on the HRF is becoming less of a problem, but still a huge problem, pulling in all that dry air there. And we can look at the water vapor. Let me show you that. Is it upper dynamics? No. It's lower dynamics. Or is it precipitation moisture? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so as we can see, we have dry air from the continental United States coming in here and getting a dry socket. Let's outline that dry socket there, and you can see that dry socket and is going to be wrapping around the system time to time. But let's go ahead and move it out a little bit more. And really, when it comes out, that dry air becomes a huge problem. It's dry air. That's the dry air area, and will occasionally wrap around the center of rotation. And let's move it out a little bit more. Really, every model has it fizzling out because of that dry air. An open low right here, all this dry air wrapping around the center, cutting it off from this convection and really having no moisture near the center, which is of course bad for our system, and it dies off. We can see 998. Look at all this dry air. There's no doubt about it that this whole area is very dry, very, very dry. But let's go ahead and check out the GFS, and same thing here. Very dry air, even drier on the GFS, and it's just wrapping around the center of rotation. And it was really on the GFS, it really was wrapping around it its whole life and really isn't getting it to spin up. Let's go ahead and check out ECMWF, and look at that. Doesn't have it that strong anymore. 992, 993. Doesn't have it that strong, and we can check this here. Make sure we're on the right run. Thursday. Today's Friday, and it's just really not looking good for the system. Very good for the United States. They do not need any more systems. No more systems. They do not need it. But again, this is going to bring some rain, so be prepared for 5 to 6 inches of rain, possibly for the southern tip of Florida when it makes landfall, at most likely a tropical storm. Now, is there anything to watch in the Atlantic, as you may ask? And not as of right now, and let's go ahead and check that. I checked it recently. Is it 18Z? Oh, No. But as we can see, there's nothing to watch, really. On the ECMWF plane, go away. But, nothing to watch. Let's go to a bigger view here. No. And as we can see, maybe something in the Caribbean and the subtropics, but this is the only model showing that right now. But it's the only model showing that, and it spins out, makes landfall at about the same place, but nothing else to really watch. It doesn't look very organized, even if, and it just doesn't really look organized. Here's the track once again, and we can go ahead and look at the 5-day Atlantic outlook. Let's go ahead and go to that. Oh no. There. Okay. So let's go to that. And as you can see, there is something to watch. Sorry about that, but not going to be a big problem. As we can see, a 20% chance, I believe, yes, in the next 5 days. Most likely not to form as of this moment, but of course, they do increase, and we could have another named storm in the subtropics. The real Atlantic we need to watch is this area. Not that far. This area and this area. So still a big part of the Atlantic in play. Main development region shut down. No more of that. And no more of these systems. Well, some of them could come off and go up there, but mainly we don't see that this time of year. And yeah, that is that. And the intensity, of course, not looking good for the storm. So we are pretty lucky. And any recon? Oh yeah. So recon went in. They found, since it isn't organized, they didn't do the regular go around and do that thing where they go like that. Go to the center, measure this side, then measure this side. But they didn't do that because this system isn't that strong here. I think they are only measuring 29 knots, which is about 30 knots, or 30 miles an hour, rather, here. 30 knots, 30 miles an hour. 40 miles an hour, about. Almost there. So they will probably update it here. Look down here, and you can see if it's on the thing. But 3:52, this is recording, and it will update at around 4. So actually, I think I will make a separate video this afternoon about that update. But we can see some convective bulbs here, but nothing over the center. And yeah, that is really it for today's video, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.